Hey, just removed the throttle body. So I was gonna clean it. I'm having issues uh, with the gas mileage and also my throttle response on the highway. When I'm trying to speed up, it takes like forever to get into gear, and I feel like it's just gas guzzling during the whole time. So yeah, it's a little dirty. I use some throttle cleaner to try to clean this out. And then when I kind of moving around, I hear this. That means the motor inside of this is broken. This Jeep Compass I bought for very cheap, and I've paid the price. So I just ordered another one on Amazon for like 55 bucks, and hopefully that'll do the job. And so to uninstall, I saw on YouTube how to do it. There was a couple of videos out there. First thing I did was remove the bracket here from the radiator hose, because you need this space to work. So I put a little belt there just to right onto the windshield wiper. Then I disconnected the sensor from the air intake filter. After that, unscrewed a little small screw, not all the way, but to loosen that hose, that air intake hose. And then after that, I loosened the whole. Okay, so this is how it looks. So I'm not like bugging. So then from down there, I loosened that nut. That came out, and this was still attached to one of these wires right here, which you need pliers to pull this out of the actual hose. It's a little bit tough, but it's fine. It's simple, and it's key to be able to work and get into there. Then I just used little 13 millimeter ratchet on the bracket, I believe, and then it was 10 millimeters on 4 screws attached to the actual throttle unit. So you remove those 4 screws. It was fairly easy to take out. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, a lot tighter. You remove the 4 screws, then the bracket. The bracket is 13 millimeter bolt. That was a little tough to get through, but you just maneuver yourself. Be careful with these wires here for these sensors attached. I was trying to remove this sensor, but this one didn't want to come out. That's connected to the actual motor, so I didn't want to mess that up. So I just kind of like be careful with that, so I don't want to break anything. I'm not a mechanic, but this car has cost me a lot of money, $3,000 to fix it so far, and that was I had to, the most expensive thing was fixing that. That is the ABS module. All my lights on the dashboard was on. That module, you couldn't even order that new. They said there was a waiting period until January, and this was in December that I was trying to get it. So a mechanic around the way found one used, and supposedly it's been good. I haven't had any issues yet, but it cost me that whole unit, and they had to bleed out the brakes. It was a very complicated job. I couldn't really do it myself. You know, you have to have the computer, you have to have a special programming, and all of that to reprogram that. supposedly, and I looked it up, and it was a very difficult job. Then I had several other issues from the battery. I felt the battery was draining. So my car died, and the car wouldn't turn on. And it was after I installed a head unit, brand new head unit, into the radio. And I was trying to, and then I try to figure out the electrical problems, what's going on, what's drawing all this current. And when I first got the car had a fairly new, it had a battery that was only 1 year old, and that battery went dead. And I was wondering, even before I installed the head unit, which I'll show you here, which looks pretty cool and has been amazing, has Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay, the whole nine. When you do install one of those units, which I picked up on Amazon also, really cool unit, it was about $200, but definitely well worth it. It comes with the harness, it comes with all of the wires and everything needed. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that Apple CarPlay, when you speak on the phone, there's an echo, and that's a Apple issue. That's actually a CarPlay issue that goes on with all of the units. But awesome, it looks cool. So back to the issues. So now you have to trace what's draining the battery here, what's the problem, and I figured it out. It was definitely an aftermarket alarm that was connected, and I had to remove it from underneath the dash and disconnect everything. And I YouTubed that also and figured it out how to disconnect everything and put everything back together. It was fairly easy because whoever installed it nice professionally. He put those crimp, special crimp wires that you could connect. It slices. It doesn't really cut off the wire. It just slices into it. And I left the connectors on, even though that might be drawing a little current here and there. But I left them on, and I disconnected all the alarm system, and I did my tests with my multimeter, and it definitely showed that it dropped some amperage in the current, but it was still drawing from the radio. So as long as the car, when it's not not being used for a few days, turns on when I come back to use it, I don't mind, whatever. This is a brand new battery, had that going. So I just ordered the new throttle body, back to the throttle body issue. So this is a Jeep Compass 2012. This is a known issue. The throttle body is a very well-known issue. There's been several videos out how to remove the throttle body, and it's fairly easy. It's not hard work. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what I'm doing half of the time, but I study well, and I understand certain things, and I'm okay with when it comes to this stuff. This car 2012, I've like suffered, and it's just one thing after another. Like, whoever had this car before me absolutely trashed it, didn't take care of it. I removed just last week I removed the air filter from here, and reinstalled it. And when I took out the old one, I looked at it and it said Chrysler on it. So that means they never even changed the engine air filter. It was like black. So I thought that would help with the gas mileage issues. And I took a long trip from Miami to Orlando, and the gas mileage was still the same issue, same problems, unfortunately, and that sucked. So you're spending more on gas, you're spending on fuel, and it, it just makes things very frustrating, especially when you just bought this car. So I purchased the car for I think it was $8,000 or $7,500, one of those two. And I came out of pocket to repair it $3,000. Okay, so it's $2,000 over what I wanted to spend. I did not want to buy a new car. I'm coming off of leasing, always constantly leasing brand new cars, and the market right now is just ridiculous. They're charging a lot of money just to buy or lease a car, and I didn't want to feed into that, but I surely paid for it right now. So hopefully with everything that I'm taking care of and everything that I've fixed, this car will be up and running for a few years, and I may sell it, and whoever buys it, they'll have a lot of brand new components in it, including the steering rods. Were all changed. The brakes were changed out. I mean, there's just been repair after repair after repair with this car. And if it's not one thing, it's another. Also had an issue with the key. I had to buy a whole new key fob set and get that, because they only came with one key. Because it only came with one key, I had to bring this to, because I try to do how you do it online. There was like this start stop in put the key in the ignition and with the original key, and then you try to program it like that, but no, and you need to have two working programmed keys in order to do that. So I had to go to a locksmith, and not only they charged me $10 to just cut this key. I went back to them. They were very nice, and I had to have them program this key, this new key, because the old one would just randomly go off and activate the lock alarm, lock horn, because when you lock the car, the horn goes off, and that was bad for business. So I had to get that done, and that cost me another $100, and that's very expensive to program a key. But from what I understand, that's the going rate, and I try to do it for free, and for 20 something bucks. I bought this cool key set from Amazon also, but it cost me $100 and something. So this car has been very, very, very extremely frustrating, but I'm thugging it out, and I'm trying my best to deal with it. I'm trying to think of any other problems. Interior wise, I do have an issue here by the door. It's like I said, whatever could go wrong did go wrong. So something small, you could buy this online. I saw it for like 25 bucks. This whole module over here that connects the locks and the windows. So the power window, this switch just broke out of nowhere. I had no idea why. So I got to replace that, and then this thing is like loose, so I got to try to find that somewhere, which is kind of hard to find, but this is easier to find. Like I said, you name it, I had the issue with this car. I mean, thank God the motor and the transmission is still good. The car drives underpowered, and that's why this throttle body issue, I think that this is going to be the fix. I think once that throttle body comes in, this is going to be the fix that changes this car and changes my mind about it. And it's a very, very, very simple, fairly cheap, easy fix to do. And this is going to change the throttle response. This is going to change how the car rides. Hopefully this will be the answer to most of my issues with this car, and then I could enjoy it and do what I got to do with it, and it could be reliable for me to go to work and do my everyday deeds. So just a little video. I never put out a car video or anything of how to repair or anything. This is not a how-to. This is more of a for all the Jeep Compass owners, a cautionary tale. Before you do buy this vehicle, definitely do your homework on the car and understand what are the issues. Google the issues before you buy this car. There are common issues here. Electrical. I've seen a lot of issues everywhere with this car. So, and this particular, whoever owned this, like, I've cursed them out so many times, and they just totally trashed it. They did not do anything to it. Oh, I also installed new spark plugs, and that was cool. I mean, I thought that would help the engine run a lot better also, and it hasn't. So after taking the 3-hour trips up to Orlando, that's how I indicate how this car drives and the fuel it's pulling, all that gas. So yeah, this has been a complete effing nightmare. But hopefully when this throttle body comes in, everything will be nicely running nicely again. So I have not witnessed this car run smoothly and nicely. We'll see how it goes. The mechanic had originally told me that this car needs new motor mounts. I don't know that. I think the throttle body is the main issue. You hear that? That is the motor in there. There should not be a sound like that. That means something is broken inside this motor, and this is not letting in air, the amount of air that needs to go into the engine. So it's sucking up gas. It's supposed to have like an equal amount of air and gas, and that's why it's totally sucking up this, because this is a 2.4 cylinder engine, four-cylinder engine, 2.4 liter. It should give you decent gas mileage. I think it was 23 miles per gallon. I'm probably getting 15, 17, 17, 18. I'm not sure, but it's definitely not good. I'm basically going through a quarter of a tank per hour, and it shouldn't do that. In my other cars I've had, you should get to Orlando from here on a half a tank of gas, complete half a tank of gas. So this is taking 3/4 of a tank of gas to get to Orlando, just to get there, not back and forth, just to get there. And then you have to fill up again, and it's a pain in the ass. So cautionary tale, just letting everybody know, if you buy this car, just understand certain things that are could definitely be an issue. All right, bye.